Farm dogs at the little fruit orchard today. So this grapefruit tree, it's going on its second winter this year. It went through a winter last year, which was very mild. It didn't seem to be damaged at all last year, but winter was more mild than usual, I would say, last year. We probably only had 2-3 days where it was below freezing, and it was only for a couple hours each time. But I really need to figure out what to do with the grapevine in terms of pruning. I didn't prune it at all last fall, last winter. And I got some fruit this year, but the only fruits that I really got were from the vines that have climbed the apple tree. I suppose they get a lot more sun, or also it was just newer growth. So the grapevines have made it all the way up this apple tree and now into the oak, which is kind of cool. You can see grapes way up there in the oak. It's probably 25-30 feet off the ground. I'm not sure how I'll ever pick those. I guess a big ladder or some tree gear. I mean, those are muscadine grapes, and that's a ginormous oak tree. But anyway, the loquats seem like they're growing a foot every month, even though they're in the shade. I mean, those things are just massive now. Maybe they're growing faster vertically because they're not getting enough sun and they're reaching for it. But I think I just put these things in like 5-6 years ago, and they're 25 feet tall now. I don't really do annual vegetables at the fruit orchard, but I had a oak tree fall last year and crushed this fence here, and honestly the logs were just too heavy to move. So I ended up with a raised bed that I didn't want, simply because I had a bunch of oak wood that had fallen. So there's some peas and asparagus and some other stuff in here and some garlic, but it's too shady to really grow anything significant. The citrus seems to be taking much longer than usual to ripen this year. There were years in the past, probably colder years, where we'd harvest on Thanksgiving, and we're 5 days away from Thanksgiving, and these things are still mostly green, which is interesting. I don't know how many are on here this year. I haven't counted yet. This is my largest citrus tree. The record, I want to say, is like 320 off of this. There's been a couple years where we only got 40 or 50. Really just depends on the year. This is the one I have to get on the roof to harvest from. But yeah, this is actually a wild citrus tree. It just turned out that the fruit qualities were good. This was started from seed, which is why it's so vigorous. I don't really fertilize it. I never water it. I never sprayed it with a fungicide or anything like that. It just kind of does its own thing. But yeah, this was started from seed, and it just happens to have nice fruit qualities. Some people find the fruits a little tangy, but if you leave them on the tree long enough, they get unbelievably sweet. A couple other citrus trees seem to be doing all right. A lot of competition from this fence here, though. This living fence is constantly popping up little shoots everywhere that are incredibly difficult to eradicate. Got really bad mole problems at the moment, and they're just making holes everywhere. I'm not sure why it's gotten so bad in the last week or two, but it's gotten really bad, and they recently attacked my new olive tree. I just put this in last week, and it's already been attacked. You can see all those exposed roots. It'll probably just die now. It's unfortunate. This citrus tree here has gained probably 3 feet this summer. Last year this was eye level with me, and now it's, I don't know, I'm 5'10", 5'11". This thing's probably 9 feet now. So that's pretty cool. It gets a lot more shade than the others. But yeah, I mean, look at these holes, they're everywhere. It's really bad. Found a dead one back here a couple months ago. Maybe a new one has moved in since then. My neighbor uses electronic repelling devices, and that's probably why I have so many of them in this yard, because he drove them all here. I've seen some of the big traps like at Lowe's and Ace, but they're expensive and I heard they don't work well, so I don't know what I'm going to do about that issue. This is one of the burgundy bell peppers. This particular plant has not made large fruits, but it has made dozens and dozens and dozens. I'm guessing it probably has something to do with me giving it way too much nitrogen fertilizer earlier this season. Conversely, the eggplant probably could have gotten more nitrogen. It's a little yellow. Got some Brussels sprouts. Got white onions in here. I think I planted 50 white onions and I had 44 come up. Some more Brussels sprouts. This was supposed to all be peas and cilantro and lettuce this winter, but a lot of the zinnias apparently from the summer dropped seed. So now I have this fall crop of zinnias that I don't want. I even went through and like thoroughly weeded and put down new compost, and I guess there were just a lot of zinnias this summer that dropped seed, and now there's a seed bank of zinnia. But some of the peas are still doing all right. I mean, the zinnias are vigorous. They outcompete everything but the radishes. There's some really nice radishes in here at the moment. I got some pink ones and some red ones. Got some more Brussels sprouts underneath this tangerine tree. This potato is doing really well. This potato over here looks sad. Planted them the same day, they're in the same spot. Not really sure what the deal is. This little farm dog. Got a couple new lemon bushes over here that I put in into September. They're supposed to be lemons, but they're ginormous. But blueberry bushes that I put in about a month ago. Another citrus, pineapple, guava. And now I'm building this little rock garden thing that's going to be full of cactuses and agave plants.